Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. We are just moments away from starting the Winter 2020 portion of our Game of the Week slate as we start things off on the right note. First week of the new year in 2020, and it should be an exciting matchup on our hands as it's the defending champion Blue Bombers taking on the resurging Red Army. Hi everybody, Angelo Pontello bringing you the broadcast action, and joining me for the first time ever, beginning his new era of commentary, my color commentator Clyde Robbins. And Clyde, or check that, Clyde Roberts, don't want to mess up your name there, partner. Well, no doubt about that, Angelo. You know, really glad to be here. You know, can't wait to see what everything has been talked about with over 50 hockey. I know I have some pretty big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill indeed. Andy Townsend no longer with us, but we wish him nothing but the best. But we look forward to a big game upcoming nevertheless. So real quick here, Clyde, as we talk about this Blue Bomber squad, a defending champion piece where Captain Tom Buchholz had to figure out what he could do to maintain the same kind of defensive level of presence as well as create new opportunities at the offensive position. Well, the big thing is at the draft, Bucky made sure, again, defense is his first and foremost. That's why you see players like Phil Field out there, Phil Chirico in the mix, alongside Woody Borg, their 5-star pickup, as well as Pete Dominici. I do expect these Blue Bombers to gel well together. I do not expect them to miss a step. And then, of course, for the Red Army side, Todd Duncan trying to erase a 2-10 season from last season for the Red Army, on a quest now to potentially win 3 Stanley Kegs in 4 seasons. Well, although the three-peat didn't happen for the Red Army, a chance for them to regroup, find ways to restructure their rhythm, and this should be a good bunch. Well, you got notable players like Angelo Pontello and Ken Buda that will be expected to upfront the load for this Red Army squad, but of course you got a good supporting cast. Well, this time you look at the roster for the Red Army and they got some pretty good defensive pairings. Besides Angelo Pontello, there's Bernie Wasinski, Mark Walker, you got Brian Vick in the mix as well, and if Larry Cincotta needs to, he can step back and play some defense as well. Well, that's all about the time we have for this pregame report. When we come back, Red Army, Blue Bombers, here on our Game of the Week. Hampton Holland, Trevor Fisher are officials for today's game. Connor Bortz in the box as our scorekeeper as we get ready to start the Winter 2020 portion. Well, check that, as we mentioned start earlier today, the Green Hornets and the Black Aces kicked things off as the Green Hornets defeated the Black Aces by a scoreline of 9-2. As we get things rolling, Todd Duncan to take the face-off against Blue Bomber center Rick Gallant, and we are off to the races. Finishing out the lineups, first for the visiting Red Army at left wing is Ken Buda, right wing is back in Bob Leary, defenseman back Mark Walker, and his man in Bernie Wersinski. Blue Bombers trying to match up similarly, Rick Gallant at the center position, wingers in place. Drew Frost and Tom Finley, defensemen back Woody Borg and Pete Dominici. And Woody Borg off to a strong statement early, getting things moving as he gets the pass around his man, and Drew Frost taken away by Wersinski. Back to Dominici trying to locate the puck. And the biggest thing too is, especially in the new year in week 1, it's going to be a matter of who can get their legs under them real quick. And just like that, Todd Duncan gets his legs under quickly as the Red Army strike first in the first minute. Yeah, just all he had to do right there, as you can tell, Todd Duncan just took his time, had a nice lineup with him as well, found the corners of Jay Hannon, and he pickpocketed it cleanly. Jay Hannon finished last season giving up just under 4 goals a game, looking to continue to diminish that average as he heads onto the season, but he's got a good defense with him. Well, it's just a matter of the defense has to work with Jay Hannon as well. Hannon has to do his part, but the Blue Bombers are going to need to tighten things up defensively. Buchholz shot fired, stopped by Chewy, who falls on it for the save. And as we talk about the other goalie in place, And so as we talk about the Red Army's goalie, essentially, Phil McClung finished last season with the Green Hornets, giving up right on the dot 3 goals a game, as the pass gets connected to Sutherland, comes back to Chirico. Well, now it's a matter of, can Chewy essentially get the right rhythm going for the Red Army? You know, as a keeper, you have to get them fired up in check. You have to make sure that the defense steps up in clear position. And now it's going to be a matter of what they can do to keep that up alive. Well, Angelo Pontello checks onto the ice for the first time this season. Pontello, again, fighting off that hamstring injury late in the postseason. And now will take this puck himself, gets around field. Pontello, far side, sets it back up, intended for his man, and Brian Vick just can't connect. Puck comes off backside, Sutherland looking to take it out to Phil Field, taken away. This is Hill Kola trying to locate the puck, and it gets knocked back by Pontello in the Blue Bomber end. Red Army make their lineup change, and here comes Woody Borg on the backside. And of course, anytime it's Woody Borg and Angelo Pontello on the ice, it's a nice rivalry to see. We'll see how Woody Borg fares out this time. Well, Woody Borg last season was with the Black Aces, Angelo Pontello with the Blue Bombers, and it seemed like it was neck and neck, but Angelo Pontello had the recipe to snuff out Wood. Now with different teams, Clyde, do we see a different story? Well, you never know, and that's the beauty of over 50 hockey. You know, you got both players who are very strong with the puck, strong in terms of the battle there, and the 5-star ranked players will have another go this season. Borg shakes off Duncan, biding some time, pass off to Kola, as the Blue Bombers still trying to bide some time in their own zone. Borg stripped away by Sincata. Duncan has to remain on sides, gets a nice pass, look out. Big chance here, Makita with the shot, and Hannon's there to stop it. And not bad by Stan Makita, he just had a good positioning that time. Probably would have taken a little bit more care of the puck there, probably a more clean shot. Maybe pick those corners if I'm Makita, but other than that, good shot on net. Todd Duncan and Tom Buchholz, the captains, at the face-off deep in the Blue Bomber zone. This pack coming back over to Pontello. Looking to set this one back to Duncan. Shot backhands into Sincata. Borg with the puck in his own end. Trying to regroup quickly. Right off the stick of Makita. Look out. Off to Sincata. Oh, Clyde. And a big chance there for the Red Army to strike again. But Makita just took a little too much time. And right there, that's twice now Stan Makita had a big chance to break things open. A bad pass by the Blue Bombers, and they're very lucky. Makita took a little bit longer than anticipated and passed off the puck, because that would have been easily a 2-0 lead had it been someone else. Pontello holds up Borg well. Shot taken by Frost, knocked off by Chewy. Pontello, this is back to Finland. Puck back in the Red Army end. Wersinski trying to move this one up cleanly, and this is Buda. Buda gets a nice open pass. Here comes the Red Army. Bob Leary trying to make a move around Hannon and could not. Picked up back chance by Buda, knocked away by Field. And you can't do that if you're the Blue Bombers. You have to hold up defensively, because especially when you got Angelo Pontello and Ken Buda on a roll, it is going to be a dangerous combination, and you can't anticipate that your defense is always going to be back there for you. 7:34 in the opening period. Red Army with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of a Todd Duncan unassisted goal, as they will look for more deep in the Blue Bomber zone. It's Rick Gallant and Mark Hunger on the faceoff. Puck is back to field. Big chance by Buda, hits top shelf, right where Mama hides the cookies, and the Red Army off to a fast start. And right there just goes to show you again, Ken Buda, a very dangerous player at that. And again, when you're bouncing the puck around, once it gets in Buda's hands and it's just him versus the keeper, it's almost 99% certain that that one's going into the net. Walker off the boards. This is back to Phil Field. Field Off the stick side from Costello, taken up by Pontello. Pontello making sure everyone's on sides, forced to dump it back in the Blue Bomber end. And right now, it's amazing how the Blue Bombers just, again, you have the talent, but they gotta get something going quickly here. This is rookie Alan Williams on the near side. Williams trying to set it back up, knocked away by Pontello. And Clyde, we had a chance to look a little bit at Williams' talent from the draft evaluation last week, and he shows a lot of promise. Well, the key thing is you show a lot of promise, but you need the right players to complement your skill sets. And for Williams, he just needs players to set him up properly, and that could give him a big advantage if they know how to work with him. Wersinski off the stick of Vic. This is back to Sutherland. Sutherland kicked away. Backhand chance by Sutherland again. Third chance taken through, and the Red Army on a roll. Once again, that defense is just backside, just laxing a little bit on the defensive side. Red Army allowing a lot of pressure there. And this time it's Bernie Wersinski who taps that one in for a good goal. So Red Army hungry for more, and again, after a abysmal 2-10 season, they are on a quest to get back on track and a chance to return to the playoffs. This is Pontello off to the near side, trying to get around Buckholz, and he runs right into the boards. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was just a stick handle. Borg, shot fire kicked away by Chewy. Yeah, not exactly sure if the skate gave out on Angelo Pontello, but Buckholz did an excellent job of containing him that time. Knocked away by hand, and rebound chance for the Red Army. This is Duncan looking back for Vic. Instead it's to Wersinski. Winds up for the shot. Deflection chance by Vic. Backhand shot by Duncan, and taken away by Pulla. Here comes Woody Borg, wide open by himself near side. It's him and Chewy. And Borg puts it in for the score. Good to see the Blue Bombers on the ball there that time, but the Blue Bombers need to realize quickly that Woody Borg just can't carry the entire team on his back. We've seen it last season when he was with the Black Aces, and that didn't bode out well for them. They missed the playoffs that time, but now you just need complementary skills of Woody Borg. And although he is quite the playmaker there, if the offense is entirely Woody Borg, the Blue Bombers may be in trouble this season. 5:18 in the opening period. Red Army now with a 2-goal lead, trying to win their season opener. As Chirico gets the pass to Finley. Finley sets up to Gallant. Big chance as Gallant slides it back over. Shot fired by Frost, and it gets knocked away. Back in the Red Army end is Frost, trying to find a man in Rick Gallant. Looking for the set backup pass. This is out in the neutral zone to Chirico. Blue Bombers regrouping off the boards. This is Field. Field connects. And this one gets taken away. Puck comes back around. This is Chirico. Will take this one himself. Trying to dump this one in. Back to Chirico. Skating around are the Red Army and the Blue Bombers. Finley dumps it back in the Red Army end. Wersinski trying to step up for this one near side. Gets around Finley. Wersinski off to the races. Now finds his man in Sutherland. As this one gets back over to Hannon. Hannon trying to get it away from the Red Army forwards. Gets around to Field. Back to Frost. Frost on the move. Feeds it up. This is Gallant. Gallant working far side. Sets backside. Finley stripped loose by Brian Vick. And just right there, just one of those situations where an excellent job there. Woody Borg working far side, stripped loose by Chewy. Blue Bombers maintaining offensive possession here. Dominici shot fired just off to the left. Rebounded by Sincata for the Red Army and gets it cleared out. This is out to an open Finley near side for the Blue Bombers. Well, wind up for the shot, bouncing off of Chewy's glove. Pontello trying to clear this one away, and it's back out to Duncan. Duncan picked up by Pontello. Here come the Red Army. Pontello looking around for board. Pontello taking this one himself. Well, shot fired and just off to the right side. Duncan with the rebound. Looking for a beautiful chance to Leary, just high. Dominici with some room, looking to connect with Williams. And this one gets around from Bucky. This is Alan Williams. Knocked off the puck by Wersinski. Shot fired, easily stopped by Chewy. Rebounded by Wersinski. Pass around near side the boards. This is Bob Leary. Leary looking for options. Can't find any, and he finally dumps it back to Pontello. And right now, just a lot of fast-paced action hockey as anticipated in opening weekend. But the Red Army just doing an excellent job right now, playing smart defense and taking advantage of the open holes the Blue Bombers are giving them. Williams stripped away by Pontello. Williams in the corner. Leary. Back around is to Buddha. Ken Buddha on the move. Gets around field. Here comes Ken Buddha looking for Duncan. Now it's back over to Leary. Shot fired off to the left side. Walker. Pontello fights for the puck against Williams. Back is to Walker. Shot deflected off of Costello, and it gets back to Duncan for the Red Army. Buddha looking for the setup chance. Feeds it back to Pontello. Red Army working quickly off the skate of Buckholz. Into the Blue Bomber end. Chirico gets it around. This is Williams looking for options. Williams taken away by Leary. Keeps it in the zone. Big chance here for Duncan trying to wind up his shot. And it's Hannon who stops the puck for the save. Just an excellent effort there for the Red Army to keep play alive in the zone of the Blue Bombers. And that time, Duncan just taking a lot of time. I have to think that he might have just overthought that shot, Angelo. And there, Jay Hannon had enough time to read where Duncan wanted to put that puck and made a nice stop. 1:29 in the opening period. Red Army looking for more as they lead 3-1 over the Blue Bombers in our opening game of the week of the winter 2020 season. Chirico off the boards, feeds around from Kola. Wind-up shot by Wersinski. Sutherland trying to reach this puck in the far side corner. This one gets passed around. Kola trying to reach it for the Blue Bombers. Walker fighting for the puck as this one gets passed back far side. Sutherland, as Field tried to strip Sutherland of the puck loose, got it away from him. Gallant regroups for the Blue Bombers. Final minute in the opening period. Off the stick of Kola, this is back to Chirico. Picked up by Kola in the Red Army zone. Kola is back to Gallant. Sutherland slips and falls as it gets back to Kola, looking for Gallant, knocked away by Walker. And just a better decision making on the defensive side there. Gotta love their chances. And the shot taken that time will be stopped by Hannon. Mark Hunger trying to put up a shot there. And so again, to finish the point, Angelo, this Red Army defense is back in business. And again, Todd Duncan this time, we knew his philosophy was trying to make sure he had good chemistry on the team, but this time he was very fortunate to pick up defenders. And again, with the way Mark Walker's been playing and Bernie Wersinski's been playing, the dividends have been resulted in big payoffs for this over 50 hockey vet. And so now with 15.8 seconds remaining, Hunger and Gallant go on the face-off. This shot back, and Hannon's able to fall on this one. Oh, dangerous there. I'm not exactly sure if that was intentional by Gallant to pass it back to Hannon, but that was very close to potentially being an own goal. Pontello. Shot flipped up high. Sincata chasing after the puck. Will fire the shot on net. Knocked away by Hannon. Williams trying to get it out. Sets back over to Dominici. And that's how the first period comes to a close. Red Army capitalizing early in the opening period of the opening game of opening week here in our winter 2020 season. We'll have more on the other side of this break. You're watching Over 50 Hockey's Game of the Week on the Pontello Broadcasting Network. So it'll be Tom Buchholz and Todd Duncan to start the second period at center ice. Hampton Holland making sure everyone's all set for both sides, including the keepers, as Walker gets this pass back in the Blue Bomber zone. Borg biding some time. Just out of the reach of Dominici, and it gets back to Pontello. And the key thing right now is the Red Army need players to set up here, and right now Pontello has been doing just that. Despite not being exactly 100% right now on the ice, he's still moving around as if he can contribute, and he's just doing a good job here. 2-on-1, Woody Borg and Drew Frost as the shot's fired, and Chewy's there for the stop. And again, just well positioned by Angelo Pontello, just again staying course on center ice. You have Woody Borg, Drew Frost trying to get open on that side, but chances are Borg trying to get it to Frost would have been eliminated just by the play of the Red Army defense. This puck taken away by Buddha. Gets around Borg. Buddha keeping it alive. This is back over to Leary. Bob Leary steps back. Shot wind up by Walker, taken away by Dominici. Blue Bombers back in their own end with the puck as it's taken away by Leary for the Red Army. Walker biding time, shot fired, deflected off a defender. Buchholz trying to clear it out. Dominici connects with Finley in the neutral zone. This is back to Frost. Knocked down by Pontello. Angelo Pontello will skate this one up around Dominici and Woody Borg back. Pontello shot fired off of Hannon. Rebound shot, backhand chance, and it gets cleared out of the zone. Mark Walker in the neutral zone, regroups for the Red Army. Blue Bombers trying to get a lineup change going as the defense tries to hold their own. Well, right now the forwards got to step up and start playing some hard-nosed hockey here. Got to get some offensive chances going. They've been in the zone a little bit, but they need to start taking advantage of some play chances. Borg. Shot winds up, knocked away by Chewy. This one off the boards. This is back to Chirico. Chirico off the boards, finds Gallant. Out of the reach of Costello as it heads back in the Red Army end. Chewy regroups, looking for Walker. Stopped by Williams. Williams out to Gallant. Williams trying to get through. Shot fired through the stick. Big chance for Costello, looking for the backhand chance. And it gets knocked away. A second faster, maybe even 2 seconds faster, Costello might have had himself a goal with a backhand shot. But there, again, just a little too much time taken, and just enough for Chewy to regroup and make a stop. 9:36 in the second period as both teams now regroup. And it'll be Rick Gallant and Todd Duncan taking the face-off. Well, now it's just a matter of Red Army once again in a situation where they're going to have to play some defense and defend this Blue Bomber potential attack. Chirico winding up for the shot, bouncing off the Red Army forward in Tom Sutherland. This pass off the boards. This is back to Field, just out of the reach of Duncan, but Pontello gets it in the neutral zone. Pontello knocked off the puck by Gallant, and Vic pops it high. Pass back is to Field. Field gets it cleared out. Wersinski with the stop. As it comes around to Vic, taken away by Kola. Chirico trying to step up for the Blue Bombers as it's Kola working around Pontello. Lost control of the puck. Here comes Duncan and the Red Army with Pontello and his man in Vic. Duncan only Field back as a defenseman. And it gets knocked off the near side corner. And a good rushing chance there. That's something the Red Army are going to be looking to work with in this winter 2020 season. Todd Duncan didn't have that luxury last season as the captain of the Red Army, but now with potential rush chances, expect the Red Army to be implementing that in our offensive strategy. Shot chance knocked away. Vic looking for the pass far side, taken away by Bernice instead. It's Woody Borg. Works around, shot fired, and it's Chewy with the stop again. Yeah, initially looked like Woody Borg had a good shot on net. Chewy looked like he would have had a one-time glove hand save. But again, just bouncing off of him, but he made sure to make the stop. Well done by the Red Army. So once again, the Blue Bombers find themselves deep in the Red Army zone as Buchholz will take the face-off against Hunger. Puck back to Dominici, setting it up the other way. Back to Dominici again, defended well by the Red Army. Woody Borg in the neutral zone looking to regroup. Borg getting through a few Red Army players. Borg right back to the Red Army as it's taken up by Pontello. Feeds it up to Hunger. 3-on-2 chance for the Red Army as Hunger working around his men. And unable to locate the puck, Stan Mikita now looking for a second opportunity with Sincata. Buchholz fired back over to Walker just off to the right side. Oh, dangerous chance again for the Red Army. Almost had a chance to put it through. Blue Bombers are constantly being a step behind this Red Army team today, trying to make up ground, but the Red Army have been able to find a response either way. Dominici in the neutral zone. Blue Bombers have to get back on side. Dominici lost the puck and it's taken away by Makita, who puts it back in the Blue Bomber zone. And the puck control is so key now too. You have to find a way to have a little bit more awareness about yourself with the puck. And right now the Blue Bombers just really no ignition being started here. Dominici just out of the reach of Finley. Walker back from Makita. Now it's to Woody Borg for the Blue Bombers. Borg just misses Tom Finley as this is coming back for an icing call. Oh, that was just very dangerous there. Tom Finley trying to get off the ice just in time, but Borg's clearance shot almost hit Finley, and that could have been an unnecessary too many men penalty, if you will, on the Blue Bombers. Blue Bombers were one of the more disciplined teams last season in penalties. Now they're hoping that they'll be able to maintain that level of discipline, as it'll be Todd Duncan and Rick Gallant on the face-off deep in the Blue Bomber zone. From Warsinski, Pontello fires back, kicked away by Hannon. Gallant finds an open Alan Williams, looking to get around Warsinski, could not. Warsinski just got in the nick of time, was able to make the stop. Yeah, and Alan Williams was looking like he was just itching for a breakaway there that time. Could have been real dangerous. Warsinski just out of the reach of Leary as this puck comes back in the Blue Bomber end. Chirico. And Buddha gets the puck away. Shot chance by Duncan off the one-timer off to the left side. Rebounded and back to Pontello. Winds up for the shot, knocked down by Chirico. Second chance by Pontello, taken away by Gallant. This is Costello near side in the neutral zone. Off the skate of Gallant, and Costello dumping it into the Red Army end. And that's something you'll see in week one. It doesn't matter how many times these guys have played with one another. Week one is always the toughest one because it's where you're trying to get used to the players you're playing with this squad in particular. It will not always be the same. So for each of these teams with players coming and going, you have to get used to each other's strengths and know how you play with one of these players. Pontello off the boards, just out of the reach of Bob Leary as it gets back to Gallant. And I had a feeling, Angelo, if Bob Leary just had a little bit more room to skate and hustle and effort, he might have had himself a good offensive chance. Warsinski winds up for the shot, direct into Dominici, taken away by Gallant. Stopped by Warsinski. Dominici regroups, just out of the reach of Costello, but he's able to maintain possession. Brian Costello and company put it back in the Red Army end. Kola can't locate the puck, and here comes Walker with the Red Army on the move. Walker looking for Sutherland just out of his reach. Sutherland keeping it in the Blue Bomber zone. Mark Walker dumps it in the end. Vic trying to locate the puck, has a chance here. Vic, shot off of his man in Mark Hunger. Hunger looking to regroup. Stopped by Dominici. His pass off the boards, this is Pernice. Finds Gallant. Back in the Red Army end is Mark Walker. Stopped by Finley, another chance for the Blue Bombers if they can connect, and it's taken away. And that time is just the positioning as well. Blue Bombers now finding themselves in good chances, but they have to attack and capitalize. That's the build-up of this team. Dominici shot, knocked away by Chewy, picked up by Pontello. Pontello will take off with this one. 4-on-2 chance for the Red Army, as Pernice and company try to skate back. Working around Gallant is Pontello, looking for the setup chance to Hunger, knocked back. And now Borg on the move, trying to take off with it, and is defended well by Pontello again. And it seems like once more, Woody Borg trying to get those breakaway chances, but Pontello is just spying on Borg at all costs. And just really nothing this Blue Bomber team can do. So as play halts and relocates deep in the Blue Bomber zone, we have 2:59 to go in the second period. Red Army hanging on to a 3-1 lead over the Blue Bombers, trying to upset the defending champs. Buddha will check in at right defense, and I gotta say, Clyde, something we're not used to seeing the young over 50 hockey vet.
Well, with Buddha, it's from what I've heard and from what I've seen, you know, a powerful forward, but sometimes if he has to play back at defense, he'll do what he can because he's a team player. Sincata just that close to putting one in as it gets off the right post. Duncan, another offensive chance for the Red Army. Duncan gets around Chirico, shot fired into field. Second hand effort by Duncan goes wide left. Oh, and if he would have had just a little bit more on the right side, Duncan just might have had himself a goal on the board. Chirico back to Finley. Off to the near side corner. Flipped up, back the other way. Off the stick of Makito. Field winds up for the shot as it comes back to the far side corner, and Duncan gets it dumped back into the Blue Bomber zone. And so that will give enough time for both teams to make lineup changes. And right now, Angelo, as we look at the lineup out for the Blue Bombers, you got Tom Buchholz back out there with Drew Frost. And we have Woody Borg and Pete Dominici. Angelo Pontello still on the ice for the Red Army. Borg shot deflected into Buddha. This is Dominici. Pontello gets it back out to Leary. Finds Buddha. Leary trying to skate for this one, but Borg will beat him out to the punch. And we also see for the Blue Bombers as well, right on the ice, Angelo, rookie right winger Alan Williams in the mix as well. You got to find a way to implement him into your offense. And this one is coming right back into the Red Army end. So it'll be Gallant and Hunger on the face-off. As this puck gets taken away by Ken Buddha. Here comes the dude as he gets it back around, looking for some open options for Red Army players. And Walker just got around Williams that time. Here comes Borg. Will wind up for the shot, knocked off a Chewy. Blue Bombers trying to pick up the rebound. Williams trying to keep it in possession, but it's taken away by the Red Army. And that time, another good, solid defensive effort there for the Red Army. Blue tried everything they could to get on the attacking end of things. And a good chance there by Borg, but Chewy again in position to make a beautiful stop. Pontello just out of the reach of Buddha. Borg, this is to Dominici. Puck comes back around, picked up by Pontello. Taken out by Cola. Pontello off the boards. This is back to Costello. Costello picked up by Leary. Only Woody Borg back for the Blue Bombers. Leary gets around to Ken Buddha. Big chance here for the Red Army. Buddha can't connect on the finishing touch. And it looked like they had just lost a little bit of control of the puck there. Blue Bombers got that part down. But Jay Hand in that time, very lucky that Buddha lost control of the puck. And with 24.6 seconds remaining in the period, Red Army looking to set up for perhaps one more goal on the board. Pernice stopped by Pontello. Chance by Hunger, misfires. Back chance. Not there as it goes in the near side corner to Gallant. This is Pernice with the puck. 10 seconds remaining as it gets out of the reach of Kola. This is Borg back far side. Pontello, only defender back for the Red Army. Big chance, tipped out, kicked out by Chewy. Looking for a touch, no one there for the Blue Bombers as it gets knocked out the near side corner as the period expires. And once again, another chance for the Blue Bombers snuffed out as they were just that close, Angelo, just that close to perhaps putting that one in the net. "12 minutes remain in regulation as we will step aside at the moment. Red Army up 3-1 over the Blue Bombers here on the Pontello Broadcasting Network. So it'll be the captains once again at center ice to start another period. As Tom Finley picks up the puck quickly for the Blue Bombers. Finley puts it back in the Red Army end. Back is to Wersinski with a nice spin move for the Red Army. Bucky comes through looking for a chance. Taken back by Field. And this is what you want to start out with for the Blue Bombers. I like the aggressive effort there. But now the Red Army have the puck and you got to get back and make something out of it. Field gets this one cleared out of their own zone. Chewy biding some time with the puck, struggling to get it off to a man. Off the pad, big chance here for Finley. Shot fired, knocked away by Mark Walker. Trying to keep it out and staying in defensive effort. And a good job by the Red Army. Oh, what an effort there by Mark Walker. That is the defensive capabilities you need if you're the Red Army. And right there again, pays off big. Todd Duncan extends the lead. And right there, Angelo, just a classic situation where you make a big stop. As for your Mark Walker, you make a stop, a beautiful stop at that, as you make up for Chewy's air, and then Todd Duncan skating around, puts it through the 5-hole. Well done there for the Red Army. Todd Duncan now with 2 goals to his name to start off the winter 2020 season. And like we mentioned earlier, Clyde, a great way to start off the season, especially now that you have the weapons in place. Yeah, and again, Todd Duncan wasn't able to do that last season, but now he's got every advantage about him. And now when you've got Ken Buddha, Angelo Pontello, Mark Walker, and Bernie Wersinski, you can feel more comfortable at the forward position knowing that you'll have somebody that'll feed you the puck. Bob Leary's shot just off to the left side. Walker keeps it in the Blue Bomber end as it gets around to Costello looking for Borg. Popped back by Pontello in the Blue Bomber end. And so now with the 4-1 lead, the Red Army can really focus on just preserving this 3-goal lead as the Blue Bombers, again, struggling to try to get anything going offensively. And right now, Woody Borg has been the only factor for this Blue Bomber squad. Off the skate of Buddha, a couple of good bounces, and here comes Vic for the Red Army. Shot is fired off to the right side. Buddha comes back, second hand effort, knocked around. Red Army looking for a third chance. Hunger with the rebound as it gets the pass out intended for Buddha and taken away by Costello. Wersinski gets around one man. Bernie Wersinski slips around and falls down. That will be taken up by Borg. Borg buying some time. This is Dominici. Can't locate the puck. Here comes Hunger. Red Army taking the chance to get some fresh legs onto the ice as this one gets out to Gallant. Intercepted by Pontello. And Pontello dumps it back in the Blue Bomber end. Gallant trying to find some options quickly. Gets it around to Kola. Defended well by Duncan. This is back to Borg. Two defenders back for the Red Army as Borg trying to wind up for the shot. Misfires. And it looked like it got a piece of Pontello at the time.
Well, it's nothing intentional. I mean, it just happened to be where, again, you have to have the ability to understand if it's going to be a good shot or not. And that time, Pontello knew that there was no ill will, and Borg just happened to have a misfire on that shot. 8:43 in the third. Red Army up by 3 in our opening game of the week. Blue Bombers looking for any opportunity they can to get back in this one. And so right now, again, you got a lineup in there with Tom Buchholz and Hill Kola and Jim Panisse. But you got to be relying heavily on your fills to make something happen. Puck taken up by Sutherland. Lots of room. Blue Bombers trying to skate back quickly. Shot off to the left side. And it'll be picked up by the Red Army. Buchholz back with the Blue Bombers, looking to keep this puck moving in their direction. Puck is back to Walker. Walker biding some time off the boards. This is out to Hunger. Hunger off the boards, puts it back in the Blue Bomber end. Shariko retrieves the puck. And the Blue Bombers trying to do anything they can to keep this puck moving forward. Red Army just not giving them that chance today. Well, of course, again, a good job here by the Red Army. Good game plan there. And they're just clicking on all cylinders here. Really, if you look at this Red Army roster, you know, you look at some of the returners that they have: Tom Sutherland, Mark Hunger, Todd Duncan, Bob Leary. You know, just waiting for any opportunity they can to get the right set of players in position. And again, Angelo, like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Todd Duncan's biggest thing when he puts a team together is the chemistry of the team. And right now, they've been firing on all cylinders. Puck is back to Pontello. Thought about those slap shot, feeds it back around to Leary. Bob Leary fighting his chance, almost put in by Sincata, regroups. From Gallant, the Blue Bombers on the move. Looking for a man. Trying to find Drew Frost. Has him in the corner, defended by Wersinski, taken away. Wersinski looking for options. Intercepted by Borg. Shot winds up, deflected into Wersinski. Good positioning there by the Red Army. Now can they capitalize on it? Gallant. From Finley. Misses his man in Frost, and it gets back to Walker. But an offsides call made at the last second. And right there, just one of those situations, you have to do a little bit of a better job to make sure that you're back on side. But right now for the Red Army, really nothing to worry about. They have the lead with 7:04 remaining. Borg finds Gallant by center ice, looking for Finley, and just out of his reach. Walker, out is to Dominici. Stripped away by Bob Leary. Two Red Army players looking to step up. Leary sets back over. Chance here for Hunger, and just off to the side of the net. Rebounded by Finley for the Blue Bombers. Check that, it comes back to Gallant, far side corner. Gallant deflected off the back ankle of Hunger. Borg knocked off the puck by Buddha. Looking for the shot, chance just off to the left side. Rebound by Red Army, looking for the tic-tac-toe play, and they find it in Angelo Pontello.
And of course, I can't wait to see this duo start working in the Winter 2020 campaign. Ken Buddha and Angelo Pontello. The communication is so key there. And that time, the Red Army continuing to fire on all cylinders. And what an excellent finish there by Pontello.
Who asked me to say, can you grab one of the goalies? And then he said, it's not.
37-19.
Yeah.
And so Hunger looking for the setup chance, bounced back by Shariko. Alan Williams trying to get a chance on it. All he needs is one opportunity as Wersinski gets it around to Sutherland, who dumps it back in the Blue Bomber end. This is Shariko. And this one's coming all the way back to Chewy. Puck comes back in the Blue Bomber end. This is Hunger. Shariko. Brian Vick just out of his reach, and it comes back over to a Blue Bomber forward as it gets back to Wersinski in the neutral zone. This is Pontello working quickly. Off the glove of Williams, picked up. And right now you see Angelo, the Red Army, just playing a little bit conservatively, and now especially with Pontello's goal just capping off what has been a tremendous game for the Red Army, and a much needed game at that to get them back on the right track this season. This one coming back all the way into the Blue Bomber end. Hannon looking for Phil Field. Bouncing puck comes back to Vic. Vic off the stick of Hannon, looking for a backhand effort just out of the reach of Sutherland. Rebound chance in the top corner, and the Red Army continue to strike. And so that time, Mark Hunger gets a little bit of the pie there that time. Got a piece of the scoring festivities with 4:43 remaining. But that just goes to show you again, the Red Army firing on all cylinders today, not backing off 1 inch.
12 from 3 and 20 red.
So also getting official word as well, Tom Sutherland and Brian Vick being credited with the assists. As Pontello flips this one high, and it goes back in the Blue Bomber end. Well, Clyde, not exactly the opening game for the Blue Bombers that they had in mind, but clearly their work is cut out for them this season. Well, you can see right now that the Red Army are exposing just about every aspect of their weakness, and that can also be a killer as well. You don't want your weaknesses exposed early on this season, but at the same time, you have a lot to work with. Plenty of time. The season's only getting started, but this is clearly going to be a season for the Blue Bombers that they can't just have Woody Borg be 100% of the offense. This is Dominici in the far side corner, just out of the reach of Pernice. Kola, his shot fired. Lots of activity on that near side as it's taken away by Gallant for the Blue Bombers. Hunger gets it around to Gallant. Duncan trying to get a piece of the puck, taken away by Pontello. Duncan trying to connect on the puck. He's got a chance. Gets around 3 Blue Bombers, and at the last second, Gallant strips it away. And again, even on situations like that, you have to be a little bit better on the pass chances. Red Army continuing to have a fiesta here as it's Larry Sincata that puts up goal number 7 for the Red Army. Red Army making a strong statement here early on, and not what you wanted to see from the Blue Bomber side. It's going to be this is going to be one of those situations where, again, it could potentially be a long season, but again, this is week 1. You got players trying to learn how to play with one another, at least with this squad in particular. So week 1 can sometimes just be the off week you have, but that's where, again, with plenty of seasons in motion, you don't know what to anticipate, and anything goes. Pontello feeds it up to Duncan. Duncan on the near side, looking for options. Sets it back over to Buddha. Shot fired off of Hannon. Rebounded by Shariko. This is Finley. Back from Walker, hits Duncan. Still on the ice. That time, very lucky for the Red Army to make sure that Duncan was well on the ice. Well, in this situation as well, they're not going to be as disciplined to see what's been going on because, again, it's 2:30. It's a running clock now, and it's just a matter of trying to finish this game off. Finley, his shot knocked away by Chewy. Finley trying to get his own rebound, taken away by Hunger. Wersinski can't locate the puck. This is back to Borg. Shot chance. Out is to Wersinski. Frost looking for options. From Finley, this is back to Borg. Borg struggling to keep it in the zone. Defended well by Hunger. Borg. Back chance for Costello, looking for an opportunity, and it'll be taken away by Wersinski. 2-on-1 for the Red Army. This is Mark Hunger and Tom Sutherland. Hunger biding his time, shot fired. And looking for a backhand chance. Did they get it in? Yep, looks like the Red Army found a way to score once again.
Swiss cheese. He's a little porous today.
Red 3 from 12.
So absolute melee here at the TGH Iceplex as Tom Sutherland puts himself up with a goal and a good assist. Give that one to Mark Hunger. Well, right now, Angelo, it's a matter of trying to make sure they're working together. It's not even a game anymore. It's just a matter of trying to make sure that they're working together, and they have a lot to look forward to with the remaining winter 2020 season. Lots of promise here for the Red Army. Williams. Backside chance from Costello. Sincata trying to get this one cleared away. Woody Borg in 2 Red Army players. Borg feeds it back to Gallant. Looking for a shot opportunity. Shot chance off to the right side. Borg keeping it rolling here for the Blue Bombers. Borg feeds it to an open Gallant. Looking to set back up. Chance off the post by Dominici. And Vic gets it back in the neutral zone. Borg and company just keeping it away, and that's how this game is going to end. And again, Clyde, not exactly what the Blue Bombers had anticipated for their first game, but lots to work on for sure. And this is going to be a long season for the Blue Bombers if their defense doesn't start to come together. You know, this is a situation where they need to hustle a little bit more, and I think that was part of the issue here for the Blue Bombers today. The Red Army just looked like they came out here and they played like they were in the postseason. They found a way to work together, to find a way to connect. And again, Angelo, the future's looking pretty bright right now for the Red Army. 8-1, your final score here in our opening week of Game of the Week, as we have lots to look forward to for next week. But Clyde, any final thoughts from today's game? Well, you know what I did like first for the Red Army is you find a way to have everything connecting from passes, from lines, trying to find each other's strengths and weaknesses, and that's something you have to enjoy about any situation, is the opportunity to use that first game as a matter of trying to get yourself on track, and to come away with 2 points is absolutely brilliant. But then again, this is one team. You still got 4 other teams you have to play in a round robin setting, and so I anticipate both of these teams to regroup, rebound, and continue on with their respective seasons. And for the Blue Bombers, again, it's one game. You don't want to anticipate this being what the season's going to be like, but again, Angelo, if the Blue Bombers are going to be looking to get on track, they're going to need to step up from that defensive effort, have a little bit more hustle, because right now the Red Army definitely out-hustled the Blue Bombers here tonight.
And with that, we want to thank everybody for tuning into our Game of the Week. Be sure to check us out on our Facebook page, the TGH Iceplex Over 50 Hockey League, as well as the website at www.tghiceplex.com for all your stats, standings, and more updates. So here for my partner, Clyde Roberts, I'm Angelo Pontello saying so long, good night. We hope everybody has a blessed week. Take care, everyone. We'll see you back here next time. Red Army starting the season off strong with an 8-1 win.